Have you ever stopped to think why, even though you try hard every day, wealth still seems like a distant dream? Why is it that, even when applying techniques, studying, seeking motivation, and believing in your potential, the results simply don't arrive? You may never have heard it so bluntly, but there is something invisible, silent, and deeply rooted that may be blocking your path to abundance. And the worst part? It's not out there, it's inside you. This internal enemy does not present itself with a clear face. It appears disguised as prudence, as fear of failure, as laziness disguised as exhaustion. It camouflages itself in your limiting beliefs, in the voices you've heard your whole life telling you that money is dirty, that success is for a few, that you should be content with what you have. What if I told you that this mental pattern, this invisible saboteur, is rooted in your subconscious, and that is exactly what is keeping wealth away from you? Napoleon Hill called these the 7 basic fears, and among them, the fear of poverty is the most paralyzing. It is subtle, but highly destructive. This fear not only stops you from moving forward, it convinces you that moving forward is dangerous. It blocks decision, demotivates action, and undermines self-confidence. Have you ever felt that feeling that something always pulls you, that every time you are about to achieve something greater, something unforeseen happens? A doubt? A crisis? So it is. This is not the universe testing you. This is your mind programmed to keep you in the known, the safe, the mediocre. And the most intriguing thing is that the more you seek personal development, the more you consume content about mindset, success, discipline, and growth, the more frustrated you may feel about not seeing results. This is because the problem is not what you don't know yet, but what you believe without realizing. And that's the kind of blockage that doesn't dissolve with superficial motivation. It is necessary to face, understand, and reprogram the mental structure that shapes your decisions every day. You are not alone. All great leaders, successful entrepreneurs, and people who have reached high levels of personal and professional fulfillment have had to overcome this invisible obstacle. They needed to develop an armored mentality, a clear vision, and, most importantly, dominate their mind before conquering the world. This is what differentiates those who just want from those who achieve. It's not enough to want. You need to free yourself. Now, imagine for a moment what your life would be like if this blockage disappeared. If your mind was free to see opportunities where today you only see risk. If you felt confident to make bold decisions. If your actions were aligned with your vision of abundance. What if I told you that this leap is possible, but it requires you to first know what is really stopping you from growing? Because the truth is simple. You don't need another miracle technique, nor another magic formula. You need awareness, and that's exactly what we're going to unveil now. And before we continue, I want to make you a special invitation. If something I've said so far has touched you in some way, if you feel like it makes sense, that it's something you've already experienced or are experiencing, then I want to see you in the comment. Yes, I read every message, and more than that, I respond with a heart, because this is a real exchange. It's not just another video. It's a community, a silent brotherhood of people who decided to no longer accept a limited life. And if you are here until now, it is because you are part of this group. Right below, in a simple and direct way, 2 words that define what you are building together with me. Free mind, or if you prefer something even more powerful, comment, I decide to win. These words are not just symbols, they are commitment. These are declarations that you will no longer allow yourself to be carried away by the voices of fear and scarcity. That you are taking control of your life, your mindset, and yes, your wealth. Oh, and of course, if this content makes sense to you, click the like button now. This isn't just because of engagement. It's because YouTube understands that this video has value and takes it to more people like you, who also need to wake up. And if you haven't signed up yet, do so now. Each video here is another step towards your transformation, a direct dose of growth mindset, real motivation, and strategy to unlock your success. Let's go together. This is just the beginning. Your journey to an abundant life is in motion, and I am with you every step of the way. You may not realize it right away, but there is a silent and persistent mental programming that has been operating behind the scenes in your financial life since your early years. And it's not there by chance. It was shaped by the voices you heard as a child, by the limitations you observed in the adults around you, by the fears that were passed down from generation to generation. Napoleon Hill got right to the point when he said that the greatest enemy of wealth is not the economy, nor the lack of opportunity. It is the unconscious fear of poverty, a fear that paralyzes, that sabotages, that keeps you trapped even when you try to move. And that fear doesn't scream, he whispers. He says, maybe you are not good enough, that dreaming big is dangerous, that it's better not to take risks, that it's safe to stay where you are. And you, without realizing it, accept these suggestions as absolute truth. You shape your life around the idea that having just enough is enough. He becomes a master at surviving, but he never really learned how to thrive. Have you ever wondered why, even with so much effort, discipline, and desire to win, life always seems to pull you back? Have you ever felt like there was an invisible barrier, like success was right there, but something inside you stopping you from achieving it? This happens because your mind, programmed by limiting beliefs, acts as a protection system. It interprets change, growth, and abundance as risk. And the worst thing is that this programming was reinforced over the years by experience, frustration, and small defeats that only confirmed the idea that shortages were inevitable. The truth is, you weren't born with this mentality. It was built, and everything that is built can be rebuilt. But to do that, you need courage. Courage to look within, to identify these patterns, to recognize that even though you've learned to adapt, it doesn't mean you have to live like this forever, because there is a huge difference between living with what is necessary and living to the full, between doing what you can and doing what you were born to do. Do you realize how most people are trained to be content with little? From an early age, we hear phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees. Those who want a lot lose everything. A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. And these expressions, said so innocently, turn into mental commands. They limit your steps, nullify your creativity, and keep you stuck in cycles of repetition. Cycles where you work hard but never feel like it's enough. And once again, the blame falls on you, when in fact the problem lies in this mental structure that was never questioned. Napoleon Hill showed us that the first step to achieving anything in life is to clearly define what you want. But this only works when you free yourself from the fear of not deserving it. Because there's no point in setting a millionaire goal if, deep down, you believe you're not worthy of it. The mind does not lie to itself. If your internal system is contaminated by doubts, guilt, and fears, it will sabotage any attempt at advancement. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. You can try hard, you can dedicate yourself to the extreme, but the results will never be sustainable. This is why many give up, not because they are weak, but because they are trying to run with chains on their feet. Invisible, but extremely heavy chains forged by years of distorted emotional and financial condition. And to break away from it, it takes more than willpower. It takes awareness. Now, stop for a moment and reflect on your journey so far. How many times have you stopped taking an important step for fear of losing what you had? How many times have you accepted less than you deserved because you thought it was the most you could get? This is not failure. This is programming, and all programming can be redefined. You have unlimited potential within you. The problem is that if your mind is operating in scarcity, it will always seek to confirm the limitation. It will keep you in a cycle where survival is the rule and growth is the exception. But the good news is, you can break this cycle. You can rewrite this story. Yes, can create a mindset that leads you to abundance. But this transformation begins in the invisible, in what no one sees, but which controls everything you do, your thought. And since you're here, listening to me until now, that already shows that you're different, that you are ready to question old truth, to face your blocks head on. So tell me, what do you feel when you hear the word prosperity? What goes through your mind when you imagine a life free of debt, full of achievement, and with financial freedom? If your answer was accompanied by fear, doubt, or a feeling of, "This is not for me," that is exactly where the blockage lies, and that's exactly where we need to act. From now on, I want you to allow yourself to think differently. May you challenge this programming that keeps you on autopilot. And if this message made sense to you, if it somehow touched a sensitive point within you, write in the comments a simple phrase that can start your reprogramming. I choose abundant. Or, if you prefer something even more direct, comment, no more surviving. These words are not magical in and of themselves, but they represent a choice, a decision, a turning point, and I will be there in the comment, reading each message. It doesn't matter if it's long or short, I'll give it a little heart, because I know how valuable it is when someone has the courage to express themselves, to position yourself, to say, I no longer accept limited living. And if you haven't liked this video yet, do so now. This small gesture helps this message reach more people who, like you, are ready to awaken. And if you're not already part of the channel, subscribe. Each content I bring here is designed to strengthen you, to expand your mind, and give you the right tools to transform your life, starting at the base, your mindset. And the next stage of your transformation begins now. You may not even realize, but the fear of scarcity influences your simplest choice. He is there when you postpone that important decision that could change your life, when you say, it's not the time yet, or when you back away from an opportunity for fear of it going wrong. This fear does not always manifest itself clearly. It disguises itself as prudent, hides behind rational justifications, and, little by little, convinces you that it is safer to remain exactly where you are. This is how you end up living a life of containment rather than expansion. And the most dangerous thing, you start to believe that this is your limit. Napoleon Hill already firmly said that the fear of poverty not only paralyzes, but completely shapes your worldview. It makes you doubt your potential, diminishes your ambitions, and silently sabotages your effort. It's this fear that tells you that you're not ready, that you don't have enough, that you could lose everything if you try something new. It's what holds you back to the job you hate, what stops you from entrepreneurship, what makes you accept less than you deserve because the idea of failing seems unbearable. And meanwhile, your mind, programmed to avoid pain, continues to seek what is known: security, stability, even if it means giving up growth, fulfillment, and the freedom you dream of. The mind prefers the illusion of security to the temporary discomfort of growth. And that's where you sabotage yourself. You have ideas, you have dreams, you have legitimate desires, but your action never keeps up with your ambition. Because deep down, there is a voice saying that it's not for you. And as long as that voice is the dominant one, you'll keep spinning in circles, wanting to change, but stuck in timid decision. How many times have you found yourself stuck when faced with an important choice? How many times have you felt that impulse to act, to take risks, but something inside you pulled the handbrake? And soon after came the guilt, the frustration, the feeling of wasting time, of wasting opportunity. This is not a lack of capacity. This is internal sabotage, and the root of this lies precisely in this fear cultivated over the years. Fear of losing, fear of making mistakes, fear of not being able to sustain a new reality, fear of being rejected for daring to dream bigger. This behavior creates a cycle. You have an idea, feel excitement, but then the doubt arises. Doubt turns into fear, and fear in paralysis. So you rationalize. He tells himself that it wasn't the right time, that it was too risky, that it's better to wait a little longer. And so, you train your mind to believe that the comfort of the safe zone is preferable to the instability of growth. The problem is that in this safe zone, nothing flourishes. It is comfortable, but sterile. This is where Napoleon Hill's philosophy becomes vital, because he not only identified these patterns, but showed the way to overcome them. Hill believed that to overcome the fear of poverty, one had to replace fear with purpose. When your mind is anchored in a clear purpose, it does not bow to fear. She faces, she resists, she transforms. This is what great leaders and entrepreneurs did. They also felt afraid. They also doubted. But they decided to act despite them. They decided to train their minds to obey a new programming, that of inevitable success. Have you ever heard of people who started from scratch and now live in abundance? People who faced criticism, failure, judgment, but who refused to be defined by their circumstances? What these people have in common is neither luck nor special talent. It is the ability to act despite fear, not allowing the fear of scarcity to determine your action. They have learned as Napoleon Hill teaches, that dominant thinking shapes destiny. And if your dominant thought is fear, your reality will be limited. But if it is the certainty of abundance, your life will inevitably reflect that. And now I want you to look at yourself honestly. What opportunities have you passed up out of fear? What incredible ideas did you fail to put into practice because you felt unprepared? How many paths have you refused because you believed you would not have support or that you could fail? The answer to this is not judgment, it is awareness. Because when you recognize the pattern, you can change it. When you understand that these fears have been implanted, you regain the power to remove them. There is no success without risk, and there is no growth without discomfort. But there is a way to make this process easier. Start small, but consistently. Change your thoughts day by day. Question your beliefs. Change the internal narrative. Instead of thinking, "This is not for me," start saying, "This is also my right." Instead of waiting for the ideal moment, create the courage to start with what you have, where you are. And if you've been with me this far, that already shows that you're ready to stop sabotaging yourself, ready to leave the mental prison of fear and enter the journey of those who decide to create their reality with awareness, courage, and vision. But this journey is not done alone, and that's why I invite you now to be part of this conversation. In the comments, write a sentence that represents the break with this old programming. It could be something as simple as, "I choose to move forward," or even, "No more sabotaging myself." What matters is that you get it out. May you mark this moment as a turning point. And yes, I will be there, reading everything, giving my heart, because every comment is a declaration that you are taking control of your journey. And if you haven't already, enjoy this video now. This helps this message reach more people who are experiencing this same internal battle. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Here you will find not just motivation, but real strategy to transform your mindset, your habit, and your destiny. And in the next step of this journey, we go even deeper. Now that you begin to understand how the fear of scarcity acts silently in your life, sabotaging your decisions, blocking your actions, and limiting your results, you are ready to discover the key that unlocks this mental prison. Napoleon Hill called this key definiteness of purpose, or, in Portuguese, clarity of purpose. And this isn't just a nice philosophical concept to motivate you for a few minutes. This is a foundation. It is the mental and emotional foundation on which every successful building needs to be built. Without clarity, your mind wanders, and when she wanders, she returns to the old pattern. She goes back to fear. Hill was blunt when he stated that true wealth begins when you master your mind, and you dominate your mind when you direct it firmly towards a single goal, with absolute focus, every day. It's not about wanting everything, it's about knowing exactly what you want, and deciding, with all your being, that nothing will stop you from getting there. Because a mind without direction is like a ship without a rudder, go adrift. And any wind of doubt, fear, or distraction takes you away from what you really want to build. Therefore, the first practical action that you need to incorporate into your routine from today is to write down your main goal every day. That's right, every day. Take a pen and paper and write, clearly and emotionally, what you want to achieve. It's not enough to think, you have to write. The act of writing engages your brain in a deeper way. It sends a command to your subconscious that this goal is real, it is serious, it is urgent. And the more you repeat this, the more your mind will align with this new purpose. But she will stop sabotaging and start collaborating. And here comes another essential point: daily affirmation. You need to start reprogramming the mental patterns that have been limiting you. Affirmations are not magic phrases that solve everything in seconds, but they are like seeds that you plant in your mind every day. And if they are watered with constancy, discipline, and true emotion, they take root. Start your day by looking into your own eyes, in the mirror, and affirming with conviction phrases such as, "I deserve to prosper. Wealth flows to me naturally. I am capable of achieving everything I desire." Yes, at first, you may feel like you are just repeating words, but over time, these words become beliefs, and these beliefs become attitudes, and attitudes transform destiny. You will also need to be careful with the EB, environments, and people around you. Because there's no point in planting seeds of wealth in your mind if you spend the whole day on infertile soil. Avoid environments that reinforce a scarcity mentality. This includes negative conversation, people who mock your dream, environments where complaining is the common language. You don't need to abandon anyone, but you need to choose wisely where you invest your energy. The mind is shaped by repetition, and if you are surrounded by scarcity, your mind will absorb it as truth. So protect your energy. Consume content that raises your vibration, that strengthens your growth mindset, that reminds you every day that you are under construction and that you have the full right to live an abundant life. This channel, in fact, is here for that. Every video you watch, every word you internalize is a way for you to reaffirm this new commitment to yourself, to live with purpose, with direction, and with abundance. Napoleon Hill discovered, after studying the richest and most influential men in history, that they all had something in common. They knew what they wanted and were willing to pay the price for it. They had no time for endless doubts. They didn't make excuses, they decided, and they acted. And that's what you need to do too. Stop waiting for the perfect scenario. Stop seeking validation. Stop hiding behind fears. The right time does not exist. What exists is the firm decision to start with what you have as you are now. And I want you to think deeply about this. What do you want? What do you really want? What is your true purpose? Not what they said you should want, but what you feel deep down in your being is for you. Write every day. Speak, view, mentalize. This is the new discipline. This is how you will build a new mental identity, a new frequency, a new reality, a reality where your mind works for you, not against you. And if this content is making sense, if you felt that something awakened inside you, tell me in the comments. Write, "My mind is my greatest asset." Or, if you want to be more direct, comment, "I have clarity." These phrases are simple, but loaded with power. Because when you write this, you are declaring something to yourself. It is marking a turning point, and I will be there, reading, following, reacting carefully, because each comment here is a personal commitment to transformation. If you haven't liked this video yet, enjoy this moment now. It's a way to reinforce this learning within yourself and help this content reach other people who, like you, are ready to master their own mind and build a truly rich life. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Turn on notification. Here you will not find empty motivation. Here you will find direction, clarity, and real tools to build your freedom. And in the next step, I'll show you how to turn all of this into concrete action. Now tell me, with all the sincerity you can give yourself at this moment, are you ready to silence that inner voice that keeps telling you that you are not enough? Are you ready to put an end to the stories that have been repeating inside your mind for as long as you've known yourself? Stories of limitation, scarcity, fear, survival. Because from everything you've heard so far, one thing needs to be clear. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. And that decision starts now with you, not with what they taught you, not what they said you should be, but with what you choose to believe, feel, and build from now on. Have you ever realized that no one will silence that voice for you? That no one will get inside your mind and do the work that is exclusively yours? Because it doesn't matter how many videos you watch, how many books you read, how many courses you buy. If you don't decide to take control of your internal narrative, everything will remain the same. And you don't want that. I know you don't want to. Because if you've come this far, it's because something inside you has already decided that enough is enough. No more limited living. That the time has come to free your mind, to reprogram your thoughts, to replace fear with clarity, doubt about decision, tiredness due to conviction. So answer me with attitude. Tell me in the comments, I free my mind for wealth. Write with intention, with feeling, truly. Because these words, when written with awareness, have the power to start a new cycle in your life. And you deserve it. You deserve a life where your mind is on your side, where your thoughts are impulses of power, not anchors of limitation. You were born to prosper. You just need to remember this every day. And since we talk so much about mindset, about internal control, about reprogramming. In the next video, I will show you exactly how to apply this in practice. A simple and powerful step-by-step guide that can transform your routine and your reality. 3 daily practices to reprogram your financial mind. Napoleon Hill. Activate the bell. Sign up now if you haven't already, because what you will learn in this next video could be the turning point in your journey to financial freedom. And if at any point in this video you felt that what I said here spoke directly to you, then share this message with someone who also needs to hear it. Someone who is stuck, who feels trapped, who lives in scarcity and needs to stop. You can be the channel of transformation in that person's life. And this is also an act of leadership. Enjoy the video now, don't wait. It's a simple but powerful way to reinforce that commitment you're making with your new version. And I will be there in the comment, as always, reading every word, giving my heart, closely following your every step on this journey. Because here, you're not just consuming content, you are building your freedom. It is training your mind to be strong. And that, my friend, that changes everything. And in what comes next, we go even deeper into this journey. Are you ready? Because the next stage is waiting for you.